Okay. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting for Thursday, March 15th, 2018 at 6:01 p.m. Can I have roll call?
Mrs. Melendi? Here. Mr. Gentry?
Here.
Mr. Drizel?
Here.
Mr. Guerin?
Here.
Mr. Troy?
Here.
Mr. Fleck? Mr. Quagliano?
All right, we do have a quorum. With that, I'll make a motion to go into closed session for the items listed on the agenda at 6:03 p.m.
Second.
Motion and a second from Mr. Gentry. Roll call, please.
Mr. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Guerin?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano? Mrs. Melendi? Yes. Mr. Drizel?
Yes.
Mr. Fleck?
All right, motion carries. We're in closed session.
turn that on.
I'll just keep it on. So you're all set. The judge is going to be, we've got Heineman basketball players are going to do the pledge. Correct. Right? Okay. And then I'll introduce Jake. We'll introduce Coach, Kenny, Coach Kenny will introduce kids. You guys will get medals tonight. So what you'll do is introduce your name and everything. The whole team will come up, and you guys will walk around the left here. Then you'll go up, and then the board president will give you medals. Just shake everybody's hand. You get tired of doing that. Shake everybody's hand. Come around here, and then we're gonna get group pictures. And you guys can come right up in front and take the pictures. And so I mean, don't feel like you have to sit where you are. Get up and move around. We'll get out of your way. Okay.
start, or you should yes, it starts in about 5 minutes at the academic school. Uh-huh. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, there's 6 or 7. But yeah, just dress up in normal clothes. They'll probably but they were supposed to wear okay. Yep, no problem.
Okay, we'll get underway in just a moment. Okay, we're back in open session for Thursday, March 15th at 7:05 PM. Can I have roll call?
Mrs. Melendi? Here. Mr. Gentry?
Here.
Mr. Drizel?
Here.
Mr. Guerin?
Here.
Mr. Troy?
Here.
Mr. Fleck? Mr. Quagliano?
Here. Okay, we suspended closed session. We'll be back in closed session at the end of the regular session here. So with that, we'll move on to our pledge. Mr. Litchfield.
For our pledge today, we have some of our more outspoken leaders, but also some of our quiet leaders for 7th grade boys basketball. You guys can decide who's whom. Ian Ravagni, Noah Only, Ryan Bakes, and Braden Bakes. Please come on up.
You could all please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
You guys want to do the swap tonight, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do the swap real quick.
Okay.
Why should they suffer not having a chance to sit up here?
Just
You know?
because we have a
Come
lot
on
of
up,
success.
guys.
Come on up, Lord.
I mean, they got all dressed up. Their parents want to take a picture of them. You know,
We're ready.
it's always good. Have a seat.
We're ready.
Just make sure your microphone's on, and we're going to ask you a few questions. Man, we look terrible up there. You guys look good. Yeah, they do. You make that dais look really good. How you guys doing?
Good.
So tell me a little bit about your season. How'd it go? I think they're all quiet.
Press the microphone button. Go ahead.
I think our season went good. We had a good team.
And what was your record?
We were 19-2.
19-2.
18?
And let me guess, the games you remember the most were the two, right? The ones that bothered you?
Yeah.
Yeah? No? You remember the 19 good ones, huh?
Yeah.
Good. That's good. That's good. So then what happened after you went 19-2? All right, I'm gonna make the questions a little easier. How was your day?
Pretty good.
Good day? Yeah? Yeah. So 8th grade, right?
7.
7th grade. So you looking forward to 8th grade?
Yeah.
Some parts.
Y'all gonna play ball?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, you're hoping to?
Yeah.
What about for high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're right in the middle of middle school right now. So you got this year to finish up and next year. What are you looking forward to in high school? All right, I got to keep them easier. Okay, I know my audience now. All right. Yeah, no, you know what? These guys know how to play ball. They're not public speakers. They're not up here, you know. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. So, what do you like best about school, about Heinemann?
I'd say our principal.
Your principal. That's good. That's good. All right. You saved the whole evening there. Nice job. Man of few words, but he says the right things. So, all right. Well, hey, I want to thank you for coming out and helping us with the pledge, and congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
All right. Parents, if you want a close-up, you can walk up there and take a picture. No, that's fine. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Mr. Litchfield, if you would just stay at the microphone, please, and when the board gets settled down, we'll begin our presentation.
Settle down, board. All right. So with that, we move on to student recognition, so we might as well start.
So before we introduce the rest of the basketball players, just a little background for something that I felt was an additional layer in this recognition is Coach Kang is a coach that has been with Heinemann Athletics ever since the building opened, and he even coached at Huntley Middle School, and he's never been a coach of an IESA sport before, and so expanding this into the boys basketball season, not only was he juggling the girls season and the boys season, and the boys were juggling their feeder season, but Coach Kang was able to make a state run with these boys, so I was really excited for him that he got that opportunity after hundreds of athletes have passed through having Coach Kang as their coach. So Coach Kang, introduce our boys.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. I'll keep it short. It's kind of ironic that it's the first round of the NCAA tournament, and we're here talking about basketball. So the boys did an excellent job explaining how the season went, but I'll try to maybe repeat what they said.
Excellent. Excellent's your word. Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah. So it all started back in October with the Fox Valley Conference season. We went through the regular season 11-0. And then in the conference tournament, we went 3-0, winning the championship, beating Lundell in the finals. Then it was on to the regionals. We played Batavia Rotolo, beating them 53-15 in the first round of the regionals. Then beating Sandwich Middle School in the regional finals, 47-22. After winning the regionals, we moved on to the sectional, where we played Sterling Chaland. We won that game 38-37, actually at the buzzer. And Noah Only, we had an inbound play with 0.5 seconds left, hit a most ridiculous, exciting, fun shot you'll ever see to send us down to state. Yeah. Yeah. And so downstate in the Elite 8 game, we probably played our best game of the tournament, beating Urbana Middle School 64-39. And 64 points was the high score of this year's state tournament. So that was quite a run. Unfortunately, that's where our winning streak ended, and finished the season at 19-2, finishing 4th at state. But despite that 4th place finish, it was a special and an amazing season for sure.
Excellent.
So let me introduce the players. I'll introduce the players by number, so they'll go from short to tall. Number 1, Grant Brojak. Number 2, Ryan Quinlan. Number 3, Braden Galvin. Number 4, Anthony Edge. Number 5, Jake Simpson. Number 11, Joey Garland. Number 12, Chase Keller. Number 21, Nick Babinski. Number 22, Ian Ravagni. Number 23, Andrew Wrestler. Number 24, Braden Bakes. Number 32, Ryan Bakes. Number 34, Vinny Constantino, who is not here today. Number 52, Noah Only. And number 54, Jared Zabilski. Thank you.
Come on up, guys. I'm just handing them. I'm not even getting them. Great season, guys. I normally put these down, but just to speed things up, I'm just.
Congratulations.
All right. Congratulations, man.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations.
Great job.
Congratulations.
Jared, you're going to go up in front here.
Congratulations.
Stand in front of the dais.
Congratulations. Hey, congratulations.
Make a line for a picture.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Thank you.
You guys can start second. Throw that medal on.
I need a stool of some sort. Can we put in a request for, is there any people that can get me some kind of ladder or something? I do, you know I do.
Tighten it up as much as you can.
Oh, look at Mr. Alton.
Can you see me, Mark?
I can see.
Medals are on, boys.
Everybody look it up. Here we go. Nice job, boys. There we go.
Great job, guys. Good job. Wait, one more.
That fantastic building principal.
Congratulations. All right, boys, stay here. Actually, my sister put this together, but the team would like to thank Coach Kane, Petty John for everything you guys done. They got a little something for you guys. That's awesome. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Congratulations. Hey, Terry.
You got some extras?
No, the bag's not holding up. Yes. All right. Yeah, room 180 is full. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the company that ships?
Yeah.
We gotta paint that room green.
Okay, so who do we have next?
We have the high school Pawnees,
All right.
and they're on their way right now.
All right, so who's introducing them?
We're going to start off with our athletic director, Mr. Glenn Wilson. Come on in, ladies. Have a seat.
We're going to need a bigger boardroom.
Is there any parents? The parents can come in. Are there any parents here? Are your parents here, ladies? They can come on in and take pictures and such.
Yeah.
We'll get them in here momentarily. Thank you for having us this evening. We appreciate that.
Got a green light on?
I do.
All right.
Thank you for having us
There
this
we go.
evening. We appreciate you inviting us and having this great opportunity. It's my great privilege to introduce the HHS Palms varsity team this evening. It was a spectacular year, capped off with a tremendous 8th place finish at the IHSA state competition. And Coach Amling, Chrissy Amling, our head coach, will come up here and give you a little more detail. So thank you again, and Coach Amling.
Thank you so much for inviting us here tonight. Push it. Oh, there we
There
go.
we go.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us here tonight. We are so proud to represent Huntley High School and our community. The dance team this past year has gotten 8th in the state, which is a huge accomplishment to get there because there are 80 teams going into the competition. So you fight for those top spots. 30 make it and 12 advance on to day 2. This is the second year we've been in day 2, so we've grown stronger and more powerful each year, and the dance team's getting better and better, so we're really proud of them, and we're excited to be here tonight, so thank you.
Good. Come on. Do you want to introduce them, or do they want to come up and introduce themselves?
Oh, yeah, we can have them introduce themselves. Well, I also like to introduce our assistant coach, Kristen Majori. We've been coaching together for about 7 years now. She's part of my team. All right, should we bring them up one by one? All right, come on up. You can introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Savannah Patel.
Thank you, Savannah. All right, so what year? You can say what grade you're in. Yeah, Savannah's a freshman.
Freshman.
Oh,
There we go. Just leave it on. Yeah.
I'm Olivia and I'm a freshman. I'm Victoria and I'm a freshman. I'm Rachel and I'm a sophomore. Hi, I'm Emily, and I'm a senior. Hi, I'm Sydney, and I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Darcy, and I'm a junior.
Hi, I'm Bree, and I'm a junior. Hi, I'm Allie, and I'm a junior. I'm Sophia, and I'm a junior. Hi, I'm Kurt, and I'm a junior.
Wow.
We are missing a few dancers this evening due to prior commitments. We're missing Emily Kay, who is a senior, Gianna Penuela, who is a senior as well, who else? Alexis Urban, she's also a senior, and then Julia and Maddie Fitzgerald and and Emma Michelan, who are also juniors, and then Carly Vitalero, who's a sophomore. So those girls are missing this evening, so we wanted to just let you know that they wanted to be here, but they had prior commitments.
Wow, big team.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Excellent job.
Thank you so
Right,
much.
come on up.
Leslie's our flyer. Is that?
Yeah. That's cheer. This is Tom. Oh, sorry.
Congratulations.
I'm just going to hand these to you. Okay. Actually, these are for the girls, okay? Okay. All right. Thank you. Congratulations, Coach. Coach is just your coach. Oh, that's going to be talked about. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Whoa! No. I'm not going to give you the one on the floor. That's bad luck. That's bad luck. That'll go to waste.
You were eating it anyway. Sweat up the end here. I'll go when I have time. Work together.
Did you yell 5-second rule and shove it in your mouth?
Were you an altar boy? The story takes a few minutes because it took a while. I held up the whole.
Should they back up?
There you
Girls,
go.
back up,
Yep.
yeah.
Come on up. Nice one. Almost thank you.
Let me get in there.
Now she's fine. Now she's in there.
Yeah, let's get the coaches in here.
Yeah, some of the coaches.
Oh, thank you.
Don't be looking at her picture.
I would check your text messages, okay? All right.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you, girl.
So quick story.
Trembling, shaky. Oh, man. Okay. And so I go up there. I've been up 3-4 times. And then I stick out my tongue and he's looking at me.
What are you doing?
He's doing it and he just makes his face at 10 and he just flips it at me. And just flutters to the ground.
Tony's like, that's cool. You gotta take it.
So I took it home. No. He's staring a hole at me. Okay, he is stabbing. He is watching me, staring at a hole, and then he goes down his head. And I put it in, he goes, okay. And then he moves out.
Yeah.
That what the deal is? Oh, okay.
And the wine. I always work for priests and thirds. 2 altar boys. And it's all gotta go. That's great.
And once again, I'd like to introduce our athletic director, Mr. Glenn Wilson.
Thank you once again. We appreciate the opportunity once again to come forward tonight and celebrate our wrestling team that capped off an amazing season with a fourth place finish at the IHSA state team duels a few weeks ago. And my hat's off to them, and Coach Bertelsmann will speak to this more eloquently momentarily, but they really challenged themselves this season by the hard work they put in, the schedule that we put together, and we can see the fruits of that labor. So we're very excited and thankful for the opportunity once again to be here tonight and celebrate the fourth place finish of our wrestlers. Our head coach is BJ Bertelsmann, so let's bring BJ up. Congrats, Coach.
I don't know how eloquent I'll be, but I'll get through it. Hi, guys. I'm BJ Bertelsmann. I was here last year.
Yep.
I told you I'd be back. I'm back in a bigger, better way. Behind me, you have some of the best parents District 158 has, some of the best wrestlers. Some of the best wrestlers in the state, and I'm proud to call them coach, or have them call me coach. Proud to have them as my wrestlers. Real quick, this year, 24-5 was our record. 7-0 or 8-0 in conference. We haven't lost a conference match in 17 matches, so a span of going on our third year. Lots of great memories, lots of great moments. Too many to put forward. I'm going to call my state qualifiers, my individual state qualifiers, real quick, and then I'll give a couple numbers here, and then we'll line these guys up. First off, 106 Jimmy Pellegrino, senior. Stand up. Okay. Sammy Spencer, 113, sophomore. By the way, the weights I'm giving you is what they weighed in season. So,
oh, he's on your case already.
They might be a little bigger. 126, Zach Spencer, senior. Our 138-pounder, Gannon Kozowski, who qualified, he had to work tonight. He just started a job, so he didn't want to miss a night. 160, David Ferrante, sophomore. Sophomore, excuse me. 170, Juan Quiros. I have way too many. We qualified half our team. 195 was Justin Allen. He's not with us tonight. Did I miss anybody? No. Okay. So we qualified 7 out of 14 kids for the individual state tournament. In the last 4 years, we just kept going up from 2 to 4 to 5 to 7. So, qualifying half your team is something that doesn't happen a lot. We were pretty fortunate in that. We had 2 kids place, the Spencer brothers, Zach and Sammy. Zach and Sammy both placed 5th place in their respected weight classes. Both tough weight classes. Sammy lost to 2 nationally ranked guys, 2 guys ranked in the top 15 in the nation. So it just shows how tough Illinois is in wrestling. Zach also lost to a national ranked wrestler in his weight class. So they had good tournaments. We had a couple more, just missed the podium. But that was a exciting and intense weekend down in Champaign. Followed by our next weekend, which, we qualified Tuesday at Huntley High School. We were lucky enough to get it and wrestle in the team sectional. In front of our home crowd, we beat Prospect to qualify for state. And then we went down to Bloomington, and we had a revenge match against Glenbar North, which I've been trying to beat for 11 years since I've been at West Aurora and Fenton High School, and I finally beat him. I say him because the program's, yes, the program is about Mark Hahn, their head coach. So Yay. Finally got that one. Real quick, I'm a stats geek. This team here, we spend a lot of time together, really a lot of time together after looking at the time that we do put in. 2,139 and a half miles we spent on buses and minibuses. That's a lot. And I'm going to say something that next year it's going to get a little bit longer. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag if it hasn't been already, thanks to somebody posting on the internet last night. But next year we are switching a tournament up, and we are headed to probably a top 3 tournament in the nation when we head up to Rochester, Minnesota for the Clash tournament. Surprise? So that will be more miles added to that total. When I first got to Huntley, I remember Mr. Bruce Bloomer. Hey, can we go down and wrestle these guys? And he's like, that's below 90. No. We've come a long way from not being able to travel south of 90. So we go where the best competition is, and that's everywhere. So we accept the challenge of the travel and embrace it, and have gotten used to hotels and everything like that. 199 hours of practice we put in this year. And meet time and tournament time, 205 hours. So a total of 17 days of being together, minute after minute, plus the mileage and being on the bus. Individually, these kids wrestled 789 matches, the varsity alone, and we won 503 of those 789 matches. Outscored our opponents in duels 44.4 to 23.7. And more importantly, in the Fox Valley Conference, we outscored our opponents 59.6 to 14.1. We really were unmatched this year. So. We have a bunch of graduating seniors. 4 of our 7 state qualifiers are graduating. We got some good incoming freshmen. Reload, whatever you want to call it, but we'll have 3 returning qualifiers, 2 returning state place winners, so we should be okay. And I would say I look forward to next year, but I still need like half a month left to be alone time. So I appreciate you guys recognizing us, and I'll announce these guys, and they'll come through and shake your guys' hands. So, boys, you want to get up here? In weight order.
Maybe the guys that weren't introduced can be introduced as well?
No, I'll introduce all of them, yeah. And our managers. Lightest to heaviest. Well, you're going to walk around that way.
Oh, one thing I wanted to point out, too.
Okay.
A couple of years ago when we embarked on revamping the high school, it was brought to our attention that we didn't have a place for the wrestlers to practice. And when we decided to devote that space, and it seemed almost like unusable space, and somebody said, no, this will work. This really works for a wrestling area. We went ahead with that. And since that point in time, you've come back to us more and more state qualifiers and more champions. And, I can't say enough about what you guys have done with the resources you've been given. So congratulations.
Yeah.
Great job.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Doug. I'd like to thank Mr. Nkosik on that, too, for helping out with everything we got done in there. If you have a chance when you're at the high school next time, get a PE key and get in there and take a look. It's pretty impressive. Cool. So these guys and girls behind me are the ones that went with us to Team State. So Jimmy Pellegrino, Sam Spencer, Andrew Lira, Jeremy Jackowicz,
Good to see you again. Congratulations. Thank you. How's your dad doing? Good.
Matt Johnson, Zach Spencer, Peyton Damsch, Luke Laprino. Ruckus with a U, Hunkins. David Ferrante. Juan Quiroz. Michael Jernigan. Nick Weiss. Matt Burba. And these ladies are managers, extremely helpful, trust me. Deanna Perry. And Lizzie Jensen. And I have my one of my assistant coaches here, Coach Gunderson in the back, Matt Gunderson. Coach Tado is in Mexico. Coach Lachelle is home with a sick child. So, they would have been here, but I think Mexico sounds pretty good right now. Thank you very much, guys.
I'm ready for my close-up.
It's a monkey off.
Yeah, I know. It's funny, I didn't realize it went back that far, but when I saw you guys beat them, I knew they had gotten you earlier in the season. So, very cool.
Coach, congratulations. Congrats on a phenomenal season. And you too, congratulations.
Stand right up.
I think we met the last time I was at the high school in 2000.
You can kneel on there.
No, I don't trust any of you. No, forget it. I'd rather not be in the picture.
Trust any of you.
I can see it now.
Woo. How do you have these?
Yeah, fall back. Okay.
Yeah, okay, right. Just Mark, can you see me?
All right, so who's got the loudest parrot when they're wrestling?
Myself.
I know it's a sport where
My mom lives up here from the St. Louis area and did not miss a match.
really,
Oh, that's cool.
She broke her ankle at the state, but was on her little wheelie thing for team state next week. That's awesome. She is the loudest. I caught refs talking about throwing her out.
Wow. That's awesome. Thanks, Coach. Wow. Awesome. Your bag is ripped. You're going to need another one, Terry. It's got a rip.
That's okay. We got more here.
All right. Okay, so we're going to move right along. We are removing item number 6 from the agenda. Item number 7, public comment. All our public is leaving, so I assume we have no public comment. All right. Revision and adoption of the agenda. Ms. Lombard, do you have?
Dan Armstrong, maybe?
Mr. Overy, do you have anything?
Dan Armstrong?
Dr. Schlichter? Okay. Mr. Altmeyer? Mr. Zier? Okay. So I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda with the removal of items number 9, 10, 12, and 13. Did I hear a second from Mr. Quagliano? Okay.
Say that again. 9, 10.
9, 10, 12, and 13.
Got it.
Okay?
Did you get your second?
Yes, Mr. Quagliano, second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, that takes us to curriculum and instruction. Dr. Schlichter?
Yeah, just have a quick update. So, we work with our data analysis partners, ECRA, and they have been able to do some analysis on last year's SAT scores, our first SAT score. We've shared with the board that we don't yet have our own internal tracking and modeling because we've only got 1 year. We are really, really excited to hear from ECRA that they have modeled all of these schools in Illinois, and we are in the 92nd percentile, which basically means that we have performed as well or better than 92% of the districts in the state. So for us, that's our first external look at how we are doing on the SAT, and obviously as the years go by, we're going to, assuming the state of Illinois continues the contract with SAT, we will continue to build that up. But we were very, very excited. Lots of credit to our teachers. Our staff worked really, really hard at the high school to make that happen. So wanted to let the board know.
Congratulations, Dr. Rowe, and great job.
And students.
Okay. All right, item number 14, the FOIA list is there. And congratulations to Mr. Armstrong and his new daughter, right? Yeah, new daughter, so. Bella, right? No. B. I'm all off the top of my head, so congratulations to the Armstrongs. Superintendent's report, Dr. Hawk.
I have a brief superintendent's report. It includes school day committee dialogue, discussion related to looking at elementary planning time and seeing if there are options that we can implement to better incorporate PLCs and personalized learning. A brief report related to high school principal search. I want to commend both Scott Rowe and Adam for doing an outstanding job of structuring the high school principal interviews, putting together two very good committees. Strong field. I know that we were concerned related to how strong of candidates we would see. Very good group. So we will be interviewing the two finalists on Monday, hopefully coming to the board with a recommendation shortly after. School Foundation banquet. Want to recognize the Huntley School Foundation for putting together a very nice first banquet. About 177 people were in attendance. Great recognition for many classroom teachers as well as support staff. And so I anticipate that will be a regular event in the future. Student protests and potential walkout, just recognizing the staff and our students, just outstanding students. Everything that you hoped as far as students expressing themselves, taking a stand, but being cordial and looking at the big picture occurred. And again, I would like to recognize the three principals that had students, Mr. Rowe, Mr. Litchfield, and Henry, all did a really nice job. And in fact, I think there were 5 League students that walked out, but re-entered fairly quickly because it was cold. That's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you. President's report. Just wanted to bring up one topic. Elections, voting is this coming Tuesday. There's a referendum on the ballot that you'll see. McHenry County reduced their levy, and they've sought fit to request a non-binding referendum of individuals if they feel that school boards should reduce their levies by 10%. Let me just say for the record, I'm not in favor of it. I think it's short-sighted. It's a very populist platform. Of course, if you were asked if if you wanted your taxes reduced, the obvious answer is yes, but that's not what happens here. It's been a shell game at the county level, and yes, I did call it a shell game. It wasn't a true reduction, and a reduction of 10% in our district would result in a loss of so many instructors and so much quality that it would be devastating. So I would suggest, and there's probably 4 people watching, but if anybody hears this, please vote no to that referendum. It is non-binding, so there's no law that comes from it, but there's no sense fueling the populist fire at the county level by voting yes to it. That's all I had to say. Anyone else want to add anything? Anything legislative?
I just wanted to add about that referendum is what people don't realize is that the school districts, the state of Illinois has a lot of unfunded mandates that they put on the state of the school districts all over the state, and the county isn't held to the same type of standards. So there's a big difference. You're not comparing apples to apples. You're comparing apples to oranges. They're two completely different budgets with different constraints on the school district. And so it's not a one-size-fits-all. So to just flatly cut 10% of any school district's budget would be detrimental.
Well said. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to consent agenda. Is there anything to remove from consent agenda? Then I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second from Mr. Gentry. Can I have roll call, please?
Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
Mr. Fleck? Mrs. Melendi?
Yes.
Mr. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Guerin?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mr. Drizel?
Yes. All right, motion carries. Item number 19, 19.1, I'll make a motion to approve the supplemental purchase order report and supplemental accounts payable report as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second from Mr. Troy. Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Melendi?
Yes.
Mr. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Drizel?
Yes.
Mr. Guerin?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mr. Fleck? Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. All right, 19.2, I'll make a motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement between the 6 regional districts within McHenry County to agree to regionalize programming to provide comprehensive continuum of services for special needs students as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion?
So, yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
How is this different from the CEDM program that we withdrew from? Or how is this? Or we just exited a program at CEDM and now we're coming back into an intergovernmental agreement, and I don't understand the difference, if that question makes any sense.
Sure. So with the 6 districts here, I know that there's going to be similar things where we'd be sharing services and whatnot. There are other components. We're not going to be paying anything as part of this intergovernmental agreement. We as a district really feel that we will be able to continue to service our students. We may be looking at maybe some of these districts that might have some of the programs that we have that we would continue to look and say if we had the resources and availability to serve, that we the 6 of us are making that agreement that we would assist one another with
I
that.
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in some sense, it's a safety net.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
It decreases the overhead that perhaps
Yeah.
you might have paid previously. So.
Thank you.
And CEDM itself was a funded organizational body, whereas this is a conglomeration in the sense that they're just helping each other.
Fair enough.
Peers helping each other. Any other questions, comments? Can I have roll call?
Who was the second on that? I'm sorry.
Bill Guerin.
Thank you.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendi?
Yes.
Mr. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
Mr. Drizel?
Yes.
Mr. Guerin?
Yes.
Mr. Fleck?
All right, motion carries. Item number 19.3, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2018-03-02, the part of the CEDM withdrawal process to designate, let's see, the resolution is, wait, hold on a second, let me rephrase this. Oh, okay. All right, this resolution, so I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2018-0302, a resolution written to approve Kevin Wolf and Monica Furlong as our district's state-approved special education directors in light of the fact that we are no longer part of CEDM. We have a motion and a second from Ms. Melende. Mrs. Melende? Melende? Give you a Melende? Like Hollandaise? Any questions? Can I have a roll call?
Mrs. Melendi? Mr. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Drizel?
Yes.
Mr. Guerin?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mr. Fleck? Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. All right. I'll make a motion that we have our amended budget hearing on May 17th, 2018, as identified in the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second from Mr. Quagliano. Okay, this is just procedural. So, any questions? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
Mr. Fleck? Mrs. Melendi? Mr. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Guerin?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mr. Drizel?
Yes. All right, motion carries. Item 19.5, make a motion to approve the proposed life safety systems inspection bid 2018-49 as indicated in the agenda.
I'll second.
Motion and a second from Mr. Troy. Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendi? Mr. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
Mr. Drizel?
Yes.
Mr. Guerin?
Yes.
Mr. Fleck?
All right, motion carries. Item number 20, no public, so no public comment. All right, with that, I'll make a motion to return to closed session at 7:54 PM.
Second.
Motion and a second from Mr. Troy. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Actually, is that, yeah, I think we can do that. The return. All those opposed? All right, motion carries. We're back in closed session. Yeah, with all that recognition, that was good.